Have you ever heard of parkour?
No.
Have you ever heard of parkour?
No.
Have you ever heard of parkour?
No.
Parkour is an art form of movement, and we use just the human body in its simplest form. I mean, we wear shoes, of course, because it helps protect your feet, but we just use the movements of the human body, like running, jumping, rolling, climbing, crawling, and we just take these movements and we just apply them to any kind of situation in our environment, whether that be in the woods or be in a place like this where it's rails and concrete, and then we just help evolve our movement to be more efficient. You know, it's no different than when you were a kid on the playground, right? It's that same kind of, that enjoyment of movement, right? Whether you're going down the slide or jumping in the dirt, we just take that and we just run with it, literally. I've been training parkour about 2.5 years, maybe 3 years. But for the first year or so, your training can be very aimless. I know mine was. I kind of focused on, you know, big drops and whatnot, so I kind of damaged my body. But after about a year, I really found out more about vaulting and learning to move over objects, not just jumping off of them. Parkour certainly has some dangers. There's no question, right? You mean you see the big roof gaps and the big drops, and I mean, it is dangerous. But what you don't see is the hours or the years of practice that go into these techniques, right? You may be walking by here and you see some guy jumping over the railings and doing handstands on the rails, and you're like, he's gonna kill himself. But what you don't see is maybe the years that he spent in gymnastics tumbling, where he learned to do a handstand, and so he does that out here, and there's no difference. Or you see me moving over railings, and you expect me to fall, but I've spent, you know, a couple years working on these techniques. So it can be dangerous, but most of the people and most of the things you see in movies, they train for months and months. In the James Bond parkour scene, right, it was only 5 minutes of parkour, but it took them 3 months to get the shots for 5 minutes, right? So they spent, no doubt, days and weeks spending time on these techniques over and over and over again. So it can be dangerous, but we practice in a very safe manner. Well, height changes everything, right? It's not so difficult to walk on a rail that's, you know, to walk on maybe a sidewalk, right? To walk on a little piece of, you know, concrete that's like a sidewalk barrier. But when you raise those heights up, you know, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 feet, your perception changes. What happens is your body says, you know, I'm in danger. What am I going to do, right? So your mind says, I can't do this. I can't do this. But you just got to remember that, you know, whether you're moving over a rail at 5 feet or at 20 feet, there's physically no difference in what you are doing. There's only the difference in the surroundings. So you have to remind yourself that, you know, you need to know the risk is there, but you need to realize that you're in control and that you don't need to panic. There's particularly one spot, and you'll see in the video, that it's called a dismount. It's where you turn around a rail and you land on the other side, and it's about 20 feet off the ground, and I couldn't do it for about 10 minutes because my body was telling me, you know, why are you doing this? You're going to hurt yourself. It's healthy that your body tells you this, but you just got to learn you have to realize that you can do these techniques because you've trained them at a low level.